Hare Krishna, everyone, and a warm welcome back once again to our ongoing lecture series entitled The Glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pastacha Deshatarane. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we are continuing with our mini-series on stimulation for ecstatic love, and this will be part 181, in which we will continue with our present theme of the glories of Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani, and once again, her tears. But before we begin, I would like to quote a very beautiful prayer by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to Sri Krishna's Yogamaya potency, in which he requests eternal residence in Sri Vrindavan Dham. It's from his Kalyana Kalpataru. He writes, "The likes of such a lowly soul as me is not to be found anywhere in this world. Thus I have become most agitated due to falling into this vast ocean of material existence. O Yogamaya, when will you show mercy to me by lifting up the curtain of illusion with which you shroud the universe in your external form as Mahamaya? You are known as Kuladevi, the traditional worshipable goddess of all Vaishnava dynasties. I have heard of your glories and activities from the Vedic literatures. You take all those souls who are adverse to Krishna and bind them within the material world. To that person whose good fortune gradually dawns, allowing him to again become favorably disposed to Krishna, you award liberation and free him from all grief and fear. O my dear mother, showing your causeless mercy to this servant, please give me a place in Vrindavan. For you are Yogamaya herself, the internal energy of yoga or union. Without complying with you, no soul at any time can get Krishna. For the manifestation of Krishna's pastimes is enacted only by your mercy. You are the devoted follower of Sri Krishna, and you are the mother of the universe. You have shown me the transcendental touchstone of Krishna consciousness. My dear mother, I sincerely wish that you will let my faith in the Vaishnavas increase at every moment. Without the lotus feet of the devotees of the Lord, Bhaktivinoda is not able to cross over this vast ocean of material existence." Whoa. Thank you, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, once again, we have been discussing the subject of tears, especially the tears of Srimati Radharani. Now in Ujjvala Nilamani, chapter 14, entitled Steady Ecstasy, Srila Rupa Goswami describes the special tears that Radharani cries when, number one, she hears just half of Krishna's name, and number two, when she walks on a path traversed by Krishna. So first of all, the first instance. Vishaka tells Krishna, "O Krishna, O killer of the Madhu demon, when the sound of half your name approached lotus-eyed Radharani's ears, tears at once streamed from her eyes, washing all her limbs, and her intelligence became bewildered, intoxicated by drinking the honey nectar of love. In that intoxicated condition, she stumbles about, yawns, and becomes stunned and motionless." Now the second instance, we're quoting here again. Noticing that Radharani began to cry as soon as she stepped on the pathway previously traversed by Krishna, Nandamukhi said to her, "O Radha, now that you have stepped on the pathway traveled by Krishna, your limbs have begun to tremble. Will your heart now become flooded with love for him? Will it not begin to melt with love for him? Hare Krishna. Ujjvala Nilamani. Now moving on, one Brajbasi Vaishnav poet, Nagari Das, who we've quoted many times through the years, he gives a beautiful title to a poem he wrote, including Radharani's tears, calling it "The Tears That Melt the Heart and Shower Bliss." It's the title. The tears that melt the heart and shower bliss. Now within it, he describes a very sweet pastime of loving exchanges between Sri Radha and her maidservants. Here it is. One day, Vishaka, Indulekha, Sudevi, Bhadra, and many other sakis came to visit Srimati Radharani at her palace in Varshana. As they entered, they inquired about her well-being and glorified her with sweet and affectionate words. And interestingly, each saki brought a special offering. Vishaka saki brought a beautiful box filled with betel nuts. Indulekha saki brought new bangles. Sudevi brought many fragrant garlands, from short flower necklaces to long flower garlands that reached all the way to Sri Radha's lotus feet. Bhadra, she brought parrots enclosed within a golden cage. And the Lita Saki, she brought a very beautiful mirror which she personally placed just before Srimati Radharani. Now Sri Radha lovingly welcomed all of her sakis and accepted their offerings with affection while actually embracing them one by one. And then she spoke very sweetly. She said, "My dear friends, you're always nourishing my hopes to meet Shyam Sundar. Your only purpose in life is to serve me and the Lord of my heart, Sri Krishna. I am deeply pleased with all of you. What can I give you in return?" Now, hearing these words, the sakis became very emotional. And they replied, "O Priya," Priya means like dear one, "O Priya, please grant us only one benediction, eternal service to your lotus feet, where the Lord of Gokula eternally resides." I love that part. Where the Lord of Gokula eternally resides. Now, as soon as Sri Radha heard these words, a single tear appeared in her right eye and slowly fell to the ground. Now at this point, the poet explains something very beautiful. He describes how the tears flowing from Sri Radha's eyes reveal different moods of divine love. It's the essence here. He describes how the tears flowing from Sri Radha's eyes reveal different moods of divine love. He writes, "When tears flow from only her right eye, they reveal compassion, mercy, kindness, and her deep affection for her dearmost gopis, as well as for the cows of Vrindavan, the residents of Vrindavan, her mother Kirtida, and all of her loving devotees. And when tears flow from her left eye, they reveal her love for Krishna. Those tears express that love in meeting, in reunion, in wonder, in attachment, and most of all, in happiness in his presence. Now when tears, he describes, flow more strongly from the right eye, it indicates separation from Krishna, grief, loving anger, disappointment, or obstacles preventing her from meeting him. And especially her famous mood of man, loving transcendental jealousy. And when tears flow more strongly from the left eye, they reveal joy in meeting Krishna, receiving his garlands, receiving his letters, or receiving his prasadam, or, this is interesting, seeing him victorious over the demons sent by Kamsa. wow, so many details about the tears. Now, he describes sometimes both eyes shed tears equally. And these tears reveal very intimate moods of Radha and Krishna. Meeting within separation, or playing games with Krishna, or during water sports, during swing pastimes, during hide-and-seek pastimes, or dancing together beneath the full moon. Double tears. Now, he describes sometimes her eyes simply fill with tears, but the tears do not come out. They don't overflow. And this happens when Radharani feels shyness, modesty, or secretly longs for Krishna's darshan while surrounded by her elders in Braj, or when hearing Krishna's name unexpectedly. Now sometimes, he describes, her tears begin flowing continuously, not stopping. Why? He says, because when that happens, she remembers Krishna, meditates on his form, or smells his fragrance upon a garland, or hears his flute, he says, or sees Krishna milking cows. Then he describes sometimes the tears just pour out like torrents of rain. And he describes these are tears of unbearable separation, especially when Krishna disappears during the rasa dance, or when she feels completely separated from him. And then, we're going deeper here, and then there's another stage, perhaps the deepest of all, when her tears stop flowing outwardly as her heart continues crying within. As her tears stop flowing outwardly, but within her heart she continues to cry within. And this happens when Sri Radha lies silently in man, or when Krishna begs for forgiveness, or when she sees him with other gopis, or when she must leave him and return home again. The tears don't come out, but she's crying from within her heart. There's still tears, but mysteriously, mystically within her heart. Hare Krishna. Now the poet explains, only her closest associates can fully understand these different moods of her tears. And according to each condition, they lovingly serve her, console her, or increase her ecstatic emotions. And this wonderful poet, Nagari Dasi, concludes, the Queen of Braj, Sri Radha, is the supreme artist in the divine science of tears of love. Sri Radha is the supreme artist in the divine science of tears of love. Now, in my research I came across another Brajbasi poet, Vital Vipul, who explains the nature of Sri Radha's tears in another beautiful way. He says there are times when Sri Radha actually curses her tears. Why? Because sometimes those tears blur her vision and prevent her from seeing Krishna directly. Now, another instance, there's other times that in front of the elders of Braj, her tears reveal her hidden love for Krishna. And at those times, out of shyness, she becomes embarrassed and again blames or curses her tears. But there are also times when she deeply appreciates her tears. It's written, especially when Krishna personally wipes away her tears with his own hands. Then she really appreciates her tears. Then she thanks her tears because they brought Krishna closer to her. Now, during moments of intense separation when no one else is present, Sri Radha thinks as follows, my tears alone remain with me. They will never abandon me. Krishna's left. Everyone's gone. She's crying in her chambers in Varshana. And during those moments of intense separation, she thinks, my tears alone remain with me. They will never abandon me. Thus it's described, even her tears become her companions in love. So our poet, Vipul, he concludes all of these beautiful descriptions. He writes, the land of Braj is filled with these mystical moods of divine love, but only the fortunate souls can truly taste them. When, oh when, will that day be ours? Now, another poet, the poet Vyasadas, he describes a very sweet pastime, which I'd like to share with you. One day, Bancharini Saki, wow, I never heard of this gopi, Bancharini Saki, she met Vishaka at Prema Beli Kunj, and told her, Shri Radha's condition has become very weak. Vrinda Devi is sitting beside her, gently fanning her, trying to cool the fever of separation from Krishna. So she begged Vishaka, please inform Krishna immediately. Only he can cure this fever of love. So Vishaka took this message deeply into her heart and hurried towards Bogamandi. Bogamandi, that's the place where Krishna and the cowherd boys take their midday meals beneath kadamba trees. And there she secretly informed Subalsaka, please bring Krishna alone to the backside of Bogamandi. So Subal went and got Krishna. And when Krishna arrived, he was described twirling his stick in his hand as he walked. And he greeted Vishaka in a very wonderful way. He said, O Vishaka, O sunflower of the forest, here I am. O sunflower of the forest, here I am. So Vishaka folded her palms and said, O Nath, just like that, O Nath, please hear Shri Radha's message. But instead of speaking, she gently took Krishna's hand and placed it upon her heart. And when she did that, Krishna immediately understood everything. No words were needed. He understood Shri Radha's condition was urgent, and he promised, immediately I will come. Now the poet, he asks a very interesting question. Why did Vishaka communicate through her heartbeat instead of words, or you could say a written message? He explains, it was Amavyasa, the dark moon night. And according to poetic tradition, Kamadev Cupid was once cursed on that night. Therefore, spoken words of love are considered inauspicious at that time. Thus, Vishaka conveyed the message silently through language of the heart. Hare Krishna. Now, meanwhile, Mukara, Shri Radha's elderly grandmother, out at Varshana, she heard this news. She heard what was happening, and she became deeply worried. So there she saw Shri Radha crying uncontrollably and her body burning with fever. So she concluded, surely someone has cast an evil eye upon my granddaughter. And desperately searching for help, she suddenly heard kartals sounding nearby. And she looked, and approaching slowly was an old Oja, a village healer. And Mukara approached him eagerly and said, "O Master, please save my granddaughter." So this old Oja, because Krishna promised he would come, closed his eyes dramatically, and he said, "Yes, I can see through my divine vision that a dark-complexioned boy has caused this condition of Shri Radha." So Mukara immediately exclaimed, "I knew it! It must be that Krishna. Then she begged him, can you cure her? So the Oja, he replied mysteriously, yes, I can perform the cure only if I receive her tears in my hands, your granddaughter's tears in my hands. So Mukara said, then come directly into her chambers, come, Varsana, come. So the Oja, the curer, the physician, he agreed, and entering the room, he softly began ringing his kartalas. Then he instructed, everyone must leave the room. But Mukara refused. Radharani's grandmother, she refused. How can I leave my granddaughter alone with you? So the Oja replied, if anyone remains, an evil spirit may enter into them. So frightened, Mukara immediately rushed outside. Now alone, Shri Radha suddenly felt her tears cooling. Remember, she's crying. And those hot tears are cooling. And instantly she understood, this is no Oja. This is Krishna himself. This is Krishna himself. Now a note here. How did her cool tears indicate Krishna had come there? She took that as an indication. Her tears turned cool. Well, in the poetry and theology of Braj Bhav, the fire of separation from Krishna is compared to an intense fever. The fire of separation from Krishna is often described like an intense fever. So Radha's tears that she were crying were not ordinary tears. They were tears burning from separation, from longing, from anxiety, from overwhelming love. You know, the Acharyas, they describe Vipralamba Bhav, separation from Krishna, as hotter than millions of blazing suns. Sometimes that's how they describe it. Vipralamba Bhav, separation from Krishna, is hotter than millions of blazing suns. So, as long as Krishna was absent, Shri Radha's tears burned in the heat of separation. But the very moment that Krishna entered the room, you could say even before she personally saw him, that fire of separation began to subside because Sambhog is coming, union. Thus, her tears became cool. And immediately Shri Radha understood. The poet writes, only one person in all of existence can cool this fire of separation within my heart. Krishna has come! Krishna has come! Krishna has come. And at that point, Krishna wiped away Shri Radha's tears with this cloth. And the poet describes it later on. He distributed that tear-soaked cloth to all the gopis as Mahaprasadam. Hare Krishna! Such a wonderful, wonderful pastime. So, Prabhus, I would like to finish today with a beautiful prayer to the spiritual master by the Vaishnava poet Krishna Das. And as I recite this prayer, I'm thinking of the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Das writes, joining my palms, I pray to my spiritual master, my eternal companion. Holding his hand, I walk fearlessly through this world of Maya. The lotus words flowing from his mouth revive a soul, suffering in separation from Krishna life after life. Each day, he turns my heart and gives me strength to conquer illusion. Begging for his mercy, tears fill my eyes. Krishna Das offers his respectful obeisances unto Sri Guru. And so all of us offer our respects to our beloved founder Acharya, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, by which all these wonderful pastimes of Radha and Krishna are being revealed. Hare Krishna. That's all for today. That's a lot to digest, transcendentally digest. So wonderful. So we'll be back next Friday. Actually, we have more information, and I think we can get a couple more classes about Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani's transcendental tears in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thank you, Prabhus. Shri Shri Gauranitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radha Shamsundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Gauranitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki, Nitai Gaur Pimanandi, Jai Jai Sisi Radhe, Sharm